Okay, as I've always said, I buy and sell guitars on the side from what I do, and I come across some cool pieces. And this is, of course, one of those cool pieces. This is an Ibanez JBM 20. This is a signature. I apologize, I do not know who that signature is. From a band I unfortunately do not know. I know I was playing some harder riffs there, but I haven't really been into or playing like really heavy music for some time. Maybe in high school, I had a heavier band in high school, and with my band we just play a lot of covers. So it could be Michael Jackson, it could be Rage Against the Machine. So whatever. Anyway, I picked this up, and I did intentionally want to pick it up to resell it, but this guitar just surprised me in a few ways. So initially, when I picked it up, I wasn't even going to consider keeping it because of the Floyd Rose. I hate Floyd Roses. I hate everything about them. They are not for me. They're an incredible system. They're an intricate system. I despise them. That's just my personal opinion. I don't use whammies very often. I hate having to, you know, take these off to do any sort of tuning or whatever. I mean, you have your little fine tuners here or whatever. You can't drop D without adding an extra part. But when I got this guitar, actually, first let me before I go into that little rant, what I what I like about this guitar a lot is as you can tell, these pickups are really thick and really high gain. They're called DiMarzio Titans. I've never played them, heard of them, never had any experience with them. I like them very much. Um, Another thing that I like very much is well, this is the natural maple cap there. This is a full maple cap in a satin matte finish with a mahogany body. But something really cool they did here. I hope I can get it to show up. Probably not, but this is not white plastic neck binding. It's wood maple neck binding. A really cool touch that I enjoy very much, and it feels great. Um, the frets and finish the fret end are absolutely incredible. The frets are incredible. No buzzing, no anything like that. I've had a lot of very bad experience with Ibanez. Everyone I've ever played, I've just unfortunately never been a fan of, and I've come across a lot of really bad ones, even in this kind of price point. I believe this guitar was 1,200 ish new. Um, you can't you can only get them on the used market anyway. But I've played some like $1,500 Ibanez guitars, and I've just been wildly disappointed with a lot of the fret ends. The fret ends are always they cut my hands off. I mean, it's crazy how bad they are in my local store. Maybe it's just my store not doing things correctly, but I've had some extremely bad experience with Ibanez. Anyway, really ugly, dry fretboards. I'm sure I know I can condition them, but just really ugly fretboards, and just playability was not there. Before I even started thinking about the sound, I mean, playability, nothing was there. So I haven't found an Ibanez I liked very much. So when I bought this one to resell it for a small profit, there was something that it did for me um, that really surprised me. So I was changing the strings in the Floyd Rose, and I was trying to change them one by one to, keep the tension and everything like that. Because if you've ever changed a Floyd Rose, they are a nightmare, and that was something that I've always, had a problem with. So, and I didn't want to change them one by one. I wanted to take everything off because the fretboard was so dry. It was not this dark. This is a really nice rosewood. It's really dark and it's really clean. It's a really nice piece of rosewood. No streaks. Anyway, so I'm stringing it, and at first I'm tuning it up, and the bridge is just lifting to where I almost had dive bombed here. So I go into the back here. Now with this, with a lot of back plates for a lot of guitars, they don't have these grooves here. So you are able to adjust the screws in here for the tremolo without taking this plate off. So I'm stringing it and it's raising, 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 and I go, here we go. Okay, so now I'm going back and I'm tightening the screws down to get it to fall back, and I'm tuning down, blah blah blah, and I'm trying to find that magical, you know, place. And what they did on this guitar, and I personally have not seen it on any other Floyd Rose guitars, that is absolutely genius. Is as I was doing this, I realized something as I was getting the bridge to fall from being way too high. I started to then get concerned it was going to fall down into the body because these are free floating tremolos. And all of a sudden I was sitting here and I'm like, I'm stringing it, I'm tuning it, everything. And all of a sudden I realized that it stopped. It won't go any further. So without having to buy an external like tremolo or anything like that, I wish I took the backplate off, but they actually have given you a block right in here um, to keep it from falling any further than this absolutely perfectly flush to the body, uh, in a sense, hardtail uh, bridge for this Floyd Rose system. And of course, the genius behind that is two screws. You take that block off in the back, and of course you have a full a full Floyd Rose free floating. But for me, I'm tuning this thing up, and I've never seen this on a Floyd Rose system ever anywhere. It really, I don't know why every single one doesn't have it, because you could just take the screw, you could take that block out, or you can put it back in, and you can have whatever you want. You can have it, without having to buy an external part. And then after I did that, I took the locks off here, off the nut, because I don't need them. I've got locking tuners here. And now I can, the Floyd Rose, you can't drop D, you can't, I haven't, again, because I've played them so little, because I just don't like the system. But like, I've heard like when you bend, your notes will fall. They won't line up. I mean, again, things that I don't really play with. But yeah. So I just have this drop D, or I tune it up to E, or you can drop C, or do whatever in the world you want with it. And of course, if you want to not do any of that, you can take that plastic. It's definitely hard. It's a very hard plastic to block that tremolo. Um, you can take that right off and go back to normal. But for me, it was just it was an unbelievable idea. Another thing that I like very, very much is the placement of this input jack right into the body. It doesn't affect, it's perfect for your strap, to go right in your strap. It also doesn't affect putting it in a guitar stand, like what I have here. I have one of those Hercules, little guitar stands that just sits right on, and that doesn't affect it. And it has that Wizard 3 neck, or whatever it's called. Obviously, it's flat, it's thin, it's fast, it's really, really cool, and I really like it. It has this really nice little loop here um, on the headstock, which is just something that you don't see that often. I assume they did that because this is supposed to be like a metal monster, and not just a metal monster. It's just supposed to be like a hardcore, like um, monstrous sounding guitar. I think the signature. Again, I wish I had done a little information on this, but this guitar came tuned to drop C with heavy gauge strings. So this was kind of built to do whatever you're thinking, like heavier strings, low tunings. They come in a 7 string as well, which is I believe it's called the JBM 27. This is a JBM 20, and the only difference is the 7 strings. But for me, it does something that none of my other guitars can really do. I don't know. I don't really have that thick, heavy sound, that I've been kind of pining after. But also at the same time, they were clever in the fact that they include a 5-way switch here. So let's run a few. Let's go through a few clean samples. Uh, so I was through the Marshall DSL1 for that. Now we're gonna play through the Vox Mini Super Beetle stacks. I'm also gonna tune up. So this has a volume. I gotta bring this gain like way. I mean, I have the gain practically off, but these pickups will distort really quickly. So 5-way switch for two pickups. So yeah, 5-way switch, one volume control, no tones. But you go from your full humbucker, in the bridge to single coil on the bridge. I actually like that very, very much. A lot of like coil splitting humbuckers I've had, I don't use it. I use a single coil guitar for singles, and I use a humbucker guitar for humbuckers. But anyway, it has it. Then two pickups together, two full humbuckers in the middle. Then single coil on the neck. Which I like as well, and then of course full neck, humbucker in the neck. I can already hear it trying to break up the preamp tube in the box. So because again, these things are so high output. So let's see how these pickups sound in a more classic rock sounding amp. So I'm going to crank the gain on the Mini Super Beetle with the volume really low. Yeah, it's gaining. Yeah, it's got a lot of gain. Anyway, whatever. Yeah, pretty. Just kind of running through a few things, but so anyway, it's really a great guitar. You know, it really is a great guitar. It's the only Ibanez I've ever played that has really caught my attention and my eye. And you know, if you want something, you know, really high gain and really built well and built for any kind of tuning you could throw at it. I mean, man, oh man, yeah, they did a great job on this guitar. I think I'm going to keep it. It just depends on if I mean how fast someone tries to buy it from me or not. To let me think about it for a little while, but I think I'm gonna keep it because you know what? Why not, right? I didn't get it. I didn't spend very much money on this. I was very fortunate, but it really. Oh, one thing I did know that shocked me. It's heavy. It's when I picked it up, I was like, I'm not saying it's like a full Les Paul heavy, but when you look at it, you don't expect to pick it up and be like, oh wow, is that heavy? You know. Also, it comes with this great hard shell case. Um, you know that it's not one of those like flimsy hard shell cases. Um, I don't know if you've ever had one, you know what I'm talking about, where they call it a hard case, but it's not really all that strong. It's a really nice deluxe hard case with a beautiful, nice deluxe handle. And I don't know, man. I don't know. I dig it. I think I'm going to keep it, but we will find out. I'll try and remember to discuss if I kept it or not. But as of right now, it is for sale on Reverb and my local marketplace, and I'll see what happens. But anyway, check one out. Great guitar. Something you just don't hear about. There's almost no videos really on it. A little bit of talking. Um, but great, 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 great guitar. So check one out.